Salutations, my dear friends. I welcome you. Hope you enjoyed your Geetha Jayanti celebrations yesterday by chanting at least few shlokas. I thank you for giving me this opportunity and congratulate you for such a beautiful heart of wanting to know what is said in Bhagavad Gita for our own help and improvement. And by now, I believe that you got a taste of what Bhagavad Gita is telling us. Not only while listening to Gita, we learn the art of bettering our life, but we also learn to make higher and greater use of the most important instrument called as our own intellect to be able to analyze, to be able to correctly assess the things and understand in a better manner. The Shravanam of the Shastras like Gita have as a byproduct these benefits also, that our faculties become sharpened, divinized, made subtle, beautiful also, more energetic, more capable. And I can assure you, just one or two rounds, all these talks of Gita you listen with faith, with patience. Your mind intellect will not be the same as it was earlier. Definitely, lot of positive improvement and change will be there. Inherently, in the Shastras, that capacity is there. But all said and done, still, again, what counts is our own purity, impurity, our own intentions, and our own positive or non positive desires. So, again, a person with sharp intellect will use his that only misuse it for his own bad things in the mind, like the terrorists and all. इतना दिमाग है उनका, पर वो यूज किस लिए करते हैं? So the faculties also have to be greater, but the nobility of the intentions also should be good. Balancing both, we are properly growing. That is how our life has to be. And it is in our hands all the time. So, having said so, welcome again. Uh, Listen to all our ABCD channel talks. Please tell to your friends too, elders also. So many in all three languages going on. The idea is one, only to bring to our cognition the glorious knowledge, wisdom given in our great Shastras by our Rishi Parampara. Using them, we can better our life. That's the only intention. And nothing other than that expected from you for our any of the personal gain. We want nothing. Now, coming to today's topic, again, three things. The mantra, so too, our one common sense thought. In short, Gita, third chapter. Today we will conclude by discussing the last two shlokas. Mm. So, in this shlokas, that topic which we were discussing from last 7 8 days, the inner enemy who is forcing us to commit all the sins. What is the way and the only way to defeat that enemy is explained. That is how the solution for all the problem is explained. So we have to understand that solution and we have to apply it. But before that, we should understand that what we have is a problem and this must be sorted out. If I justify my disease and say that I am adjusting with it, why will I seek medication to come out of it? Many people like that continue their physical diseases, suffering, and one day they die. The only few people are there, they say, I don't want to suffer any disease. Little problem comes, immediately he finds the solution, whatever it is, Ayurvedic, allopathy, he is free of that. Just like at the physical level it is so too at the mind level. For all our great, grand, glorious achievements, when we understand that the desire is the cause of biggest obstructions and it is the biggest enemy and it's a mind's disease, how can we continue that? We have to slowly come out of it and have only the noble ideas, noble goals, noble desires, and achieving them. We have to fulfill our life we should be a great contributor to the world. Apart from that, entertaining all the ignoble, licentious, adharmic desires in the mind and to fulfill them, not hesitating to do any negative things, any crimes, and then feeling guilty inside, insulted by the people around, then caught up and punished, and in the meantime, whole life is wasted and never substantial is achieved. Do you want to waste your life like that? It is your choice, and I know you won't choose it to be like that. I know you're very conscious. You want to be a proud Indian, proud Sanatana Dharmi, proud human being, by proving the reason for that pride to be so greatly, grandly, gloriously successful for yourself and for the world. And all that will happen only right from the beginning. With the right understanding, we eliminate all the inner and outer obstacles, and we keep on doing only the positive. Clear? Now let us start. Om. 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 Om Sahanavavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Thank you. Now we are doing mantras from last 18 19 days. Maybe 3 4 days we'll do. Then we'll take up something else. So today's mantra is again the mother related. See, to do every of the things we need to have the Shakti. The Shaktis are of billions of types. But to all the Shaktis, the source is the Mother, the Bhagavati. So, if we can really invoke her grace through various upasanas and also through these stotrams and especially with the japa mantras, which I am telling you now, definitely by her grace, the variety of required Shaktis will come for our success. And the Shakti we need to conquer our inner negativities, Shakti we need to achieve our own goals. To perform that, we need the Shakti. And also, when we are in the responsible citizen of the nation or the world, there also, the around enemies, whoever are there, to conquer them also, we need the Shakti. Is it not? So therefore, today's mantra is Ki Om Shri Adi Para Shakti Namaha. This is the mantra today. Okay. Om Shri Adi Para Shakti Namaha. With mother kept in your heart, praying to her, O mother, give me the sufficient Shaktis of all types only for my achieving the noble goals, for my own joy, happiness, and also for the contribution of the world. And also pray this, by the way, whenever I want to do the negative things, because I can't trust my own mind. Please see to it that at that time there should be zero Shakti, so that I don't do that negative thing, and I don't suffer the consequences of it. In that way, when we pray both positive as well as the other thing, definitely we can see the change in us. And we need so many powers. Shakti is it's a general term. Dhana is also Shakti. Jana also is Shakti. Ability to speak also Shakti. There is Shakti of the Mana, Shakti of the Buddhi. The 12 types of Shaktis I spoke in that ABCD channel for the youth. Channel way in that series, Talks for the Youth. Those 199 talks, you can just see in that. So, Om Shri Adi Para Shaktiyai Namaha. Shaktiyai Namaha. And remembering Adivarakta Mata, pray to her to give Shakti for good noble goal achievements and no Shakti for all any negative thought if it comes to me. So good, no? Mother withdraws the energy. Then that negative thing you don't do. That way, if you are already wise, you are powerful enough, you don't even do sankalpa. But that energy ability we don't have, suddenly something like a wrong program in TV you want to see. So when you pray to Mother, take away the Shakti, immediately she will put off the current. Then you can't see it. You are saved. Doing good is as better as important it is to do good is so important is not to do the bad. And these things right from beginning we have to be aware of. Don't be like the modern human being of not at all caring about what is good, bad, what is right, wrong, what is helpful, not helpful, what is giving sukha or dukkha, binding, non-binding. People are not wanting to think. They only have decided to do bad and how best it is to be done. That's how they are planning. You don't be like that. Every step, let the intellect work to discuss, decide what is right. Only that we will do, not otherwise. Even in some circumstances, some non positive thought comes, let there be no energy. Shakti should not be. Like you want to drive vehicle with 240 speed, two wheeler, which is very detrimental to you and the people around. So when you pray this one, that day the vehicle will be punctured. So you will not drive. So you are safe. I'm telling, we not only should be empowered, inspired to do the positive, but whenever the non-positive comes, we should be taken away of the energy so that we should not do that. That is how in the past you see anybody does wrong, that Rishi used to curse them in such a way that power with which that person did wrong was withdrawn from him. As a human being, instead of living like a human, you live like animal. Therefore, you don't deserve to be human, become animal. Cursed. In that way is to be. Okay. Om Shri Adi Parashaktyai Namaha. और ओम श्री आदि पराशक्ति मात्रे नमः ऐड जरूर माता रानी का नाम भी आ जाए. मात्रे भी ऐड करो माता तो है ही. माता always mother only, that is better. Om Shri Adi Parashakti Matre Namaha 27 times. Now we are doing 81. You are going to add 108 ho gaya. Then in your own convenient time keep a target of 1,08,000 and reach it. Make a 21 day for every of this mantra. So daily you can do 5,000 etc. In 21 days it can be achieved. Not at all difficult. 5,000 कितना टाइम लगेगा आपको? Almost 2.5 hours. That is nothing. Is a for such a great tapasya. You can invoke grace of Bhagwan for all your successes. It's worth the investment. And 2.5 hours you can easily take. Subha, Dopar, Sham, anytime you can. You are not so busy. I know that. Start. ॐ श्री आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः. 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 ओम श्री आदि पराशक्ति मात्रे 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 नमः. Mam raksha raksha paripalaya paripalaya. Very good. Thank you. Now come to the common sense point. Now, not very difficult, but it is required for us to know. What is it today? Ki don't justify the wrong things done by yourself through the mouth or action, because that is where is the first step where we can rise above or fall further. Those who justify the wrong deeds, slowly it becomes a habit to them, a nature to them. After once it becomes habit in nature, one cannot change. Instead of justifying, when you feel regretted and guilty, and accept it and want to come out of it and try to put the required efforts from those wrong deeds or actions or habits, whatever, we can easily come out. Such a crucial thought it is. We generally do the mistake also and justify it also. And to justify, we argue, we fight with people, we misuse our own intellect, we use the quotation, we give the example. अब सारा इतना क्यों बोल रहे हो? To justify the nonsense done. See, never do it. Anyway, like you went late to your college or tuition. Sir, I'm sorry for this reason became late. I'll try tomorrow not to. हो गया खत्म. नो जस्टिफाई ट्रैफिक हो गया ये हो गया and सारा झूठ उसमें. Then it becomes a habit then. When habitually we are bad, nobody will value us, nobody will care us, nobody will trust us. That is why you can observe in your own friendships with people. Something wrong you done and you said, sorry, Rara, I never meant like that. So this is what it is. I'll be rectifying myself. Please forgive me. Give me one more chance. That fellow's trust will grow for you. If you go on justifying it, he looks at 3 time, 4 time. अरे गलत कर भी रहा है और अपने आप को समर्थन कर रहा है. Then he don't deserve me. I don't want to be his friend. Bye. He will go away. In the same in the offices and all, you're not doing work properly because of your own laziness, your own sleepiness, your own extrovertedness. These are our all negativity भरे हैं हमारे पास. Then the boss asks, why did you do? Confess. So sorry, cut my salary or put me in extra work. That way, that type of things we have to either put your own punishments on yourself, not to commit them, or ready to receive the punishment to change within. This is a right and noble way of response. If this is not done, mistakes we do, go on justifying them, and we become habitual to that, then none can value us, nor even the God. He will also forsake us. So, what is simple thought today? Common sense. Don't justify the mistakes that are done by the wrongs that are done. So, if you have scolded someone, become angry with someone, or even abused and all, out of rage, let us say, don't justify it. Ah, you deserve it. I'll. Nobody deserves bad from us. We have to give only good to all. So, don't justify. Youngsters have this talent and knack of justifying all they do, and that's so they defeat their parents. And if nothing works out, they say, आप नहीं देख रहे हो क्या cell phone? And when mother and father are seeing cell phone, therefore you also should see what is the logic in that. Mother and father or anybody. Padosi, that fellow goes to this or that place. How can you take the example of fellow who is doing wrong for justify your mistake? But we continuously think like that. That's why I'm saying we are less informed. We only are arrogant. We don't know what to do, not to do, and what are its consequences tomorrow. In the mind also, in our character and nature also, and in the world society around also. See, we have to live in the same world. We have to live with the same our own mind intellect. If you go on impurifying it inside, and if you go on behaving badly outside, both places we are failure. Then such person later on is say, nobody cared me, valued me, invited me. How can they do when you go on doing mistakes and justify? And inside also I'm such a bad person, guilty. बेवकूफ देखो, बेवकूफ होते भी हैं, जस्टिफाई करते भी हैं, आदत बनाते भी हैं, और फिर सिंपैथी मांगते हैं. स्वामी जी, I'm such a useless fellow. It means what? I should accept it and make you continue. तथास्तु बोलो क्या? People are like that. I can't come to class. I can't chant the shloka of Geetha. I don't know how to do japa. I am not doing it. Doing mistake, justifying, making habit of it, and seeking sympathy. What a third rate of personality he is. I too don't like. And I'm sure my youngsters are not like that. They are conscious, they are genius, they are the masters of inner and outer world, and they always do the best. By mistake, sometime anything happens, they are noble enough, intelligent enough, they are pure enough, immediately to accept that mistake and rectify it there and then, not to leave the trace of it. This is the beauty of personality expected out of us. Try karna. So don't justify the wrong or mistakes. That is the common sense thought today. Tomorrow we'll come with another one. Thank you. Now our Srimad Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. Today our 77th talk. साथ साथ चल रहे हैं हम पिछले 77 दिन से साथ साथ चल रहे हैं. It's a good journey. It's giving me also a good idea as to how to talk on these subjects to our youngsters. Now, today we'll conclude this topic of Atakena Prayuktopam Pavancharati Purushaha. Tomorrow again, I'll take all these slokas summary just to ensure that we have not missed anything and everything is covered. Today, I'll continue from yesterday. So, yesterday, what was the sloka was said? Ki before that day before was, what are the three headquarters of this enemy from where it operates? Who is the enemy? The desire, the kamana, the lust or the desire or the passion, all these. So they are at the three headquarters level. One at the intellect, second at the mana, third at the body or senses level. At the body and senses level, it is in the form of action and perception. The desire makes us act like that. Desire makes our senses to perceive those things which we desire. So, too, the desire at the mind level is the sentiments, the emotions. Like, how can I be without that? I want it, all that. And at the intellectual level, desire is like a conviction. कि मुझे चाहिए वो. This is how it operates. Then, yesterday we discussed, if you were aware, at the intellect level, straight away you cannot. But unless from the intellect only that conviction is not removed, total problem is not sorted out. And yet, we should start acting where we can. And where we can do that at the sense organs level. Therefore, what is to be done? At the senses level only, we have to discipline ourselves not to involve our energy. Then we see the consequence of it, how much positive is gained out of that. Then that one, when we use and understand that in this way positively, when I live, it is for my own benefit. Therefore, I'll continue like that. This is called as that suppressed desire or the wrong thing is sublimated by understanding. Why? Because at the Indriya level, sense, if you don't control, then you have not given a chance to yourself to know when I deny myself of that desire, will I die or be alive? Will I be benefited or will I be losing? While fulfilling the desire, what are the consequences? We saw the energy lost, the money lost, the regrets are there, the guilts are there, the humiliations are there. Oh, desire fulfill करके तो देखा, आप कंट्रोल करके देखो उसके कितने फायदे होते हैं. Like you have seen how benefits come when you use your cell phone excessively. More than benefits, all the time waste, energy waste. अब एक हफ्ते के लिए उसको साइड पे रख के देख, मन कितना शांत होगा, टाइम एनर्जी कितना मिलेगा फॉर यू टू रीच टू योर हायर एंड ग्रेटर नोबल गोल्स. एक्सपेरिमेंट करना है ना पहले स्टॉप करके. दैट इज व्हाई भगवान टोल्ड द फर्स्ट थिंग टू डू टू कॉन्कर डिजायर्स इज to start disciplining our sense organs. So what was the shloka if you remember? Tasmat tvam, hey Arjuna, indriyani adau niyamya. आदि में शुरू में इंद्रियों का नियमन करके, फर्स्ट by discipline and controlling the senses, thus far no further, and some of the things totally no. Tasmat, therefore, tvam, you, indriyani, sense organs, adau, in the beginning, niyamya, having controlled them, disciplined them, suppressed them, all are required. Niyamya, hey Bharata Rushabha, best among the Indians, if you really want to be that way noble Indian, Bharata Rushabha, then papmanam, that kamana, which is forcing you to do the papa, prajahi, conquer it. If not, jnana, vijnana, nasanam. It will destroy your jnanam, that you want to achieve this or that goal, and it will destroy your vijnanam, the practical understandings as well as the resources which you have gathered to apply in the goal choose for the sake of reaching the goal in the plan made. So in this way we have made a plan. We have to use the resources. All the resources are gathered and the goal also set. तो ज्ञान नाश हो जाएगा, मतलब you will forget your noble goals. विज्ञान का नाश हो जाएगा. All your resources also are of no use. They are also destroyed. If you allow this kamana, the terrible enemy, to go on going with you. So papmanam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. आपका already existing knowledge or the knowledge which you are required to gain, it doesn't allow this desire. So too, it doesn't allow you to implement that knowledge. Having knowledge is jnanam. Practically implementing that knowledge is vijnanam. ज्ञान विज्ञान दोनों नाश हो जाते हैं when you are slave to the desires. And desires are in the vasanas, in the buddhi, in the mind level, at the sense level. Start controlling at the sense level. Then come to the mind level and reduce the sentiments and emotions. नहीं तो आज कंट्रोल करोगे, कल फिर से उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो जाओगे. So unless the suppression is converted into sublimation through correct understanding, that suppression is the most dangerous, it will become like a volcano. It is like the people do the fasting for 20 days, 30 days, Mandala Diksha, 40 days, no onion, no drink and all. But if they don't sublimate it with the understanding that I could live without them, therefore I'll continue, then that suppression after the 40 days, they will add onion, even the chai, coffee also. Because that suppressed desire has become so powerful. Sublimation is the intellectual understanding that when I am not involved in that, how it is beneficial only to me, not a loss, therefore what I did is good. This is called as sublimation through intellectual understanding of the suppression of the desire, which when neither suppressed nor sublimated, and we indulge in that like a bhayankara shatru, it will destroy your goal memory, it will also destroy all the means, then you will be nowhere achieving nothing. But as a human being, given with intellect, given with all resources and opportunities, we are supposed to achieve greater and greater things. Instead of that, like in animals only, we live only at the indulgence level. Bhagavan will make us animal only next life. Before that, for the sake of these sensuous pleasures and enjoyments, whatever the sins that are done, every one of them will give us back the bangings or the dukkha or misery. You can't avoid. यार सिंपल देख, पाप करो दुख मिलेगा, पुण्य करो पाप सुख मिलेगा, साधना करो भगवान मिलेंगे. Don't try to alter these sentences. And we do the papa because of uncontrolled desires. You have to control them. The control starts from suppressing at the senses level. But don't stop there. Sublimate also with right understanding. In this way, instead of living life of ignoble sensuous desires, live with the noble goals. Keep the higher goals, your own academic goals, your own professional goals, and through them the goal of serving the world, and slowly the spiritual goal. Don't you see in the world people not entertaining that much of desires, very little, rest of the entire day's time they spend only in serving the society, in their own spiritual things, in their own achieving their career goals. In the same world, you can see others also with all opportunities, abilities, they destroy their lives. Difference is this only. The first category people have suppressed, sublimated, and inspired themselves with a higher, nobler goal, walking towards that. The other fellow was succumbed to his own desire because nobody told, even if they told, he was never listening. देखो आज तुम जैसे जी रहे हो इन माइंड with your laziness, your passions, etc., and not working for your goal and all, same thing you will continue tomorrow, day after tomorrow, throughout life and million lives to come. If you want to change next life, you have to change this life. If you want to change this life, you have to change this year. If you have to change this year, today you have to change. You have to change today, you have to change now. Right now, only the decision is taken. My life is not goaded by, governed by, guided by, forced by the passions and desires, all the negative enemies. I live my life inspired by the higher and greater goals. You have to tell to yourself. We have told what we have to tell you. Now, the ball is in your court. You have to do it. Don't be careless and rash like yesterday, India batting, how they lost all the wickets and lost to a small Bangladesh also, dropping the catch and all. You have seen the match yesterday? I have not seen, I just see it. I don't have time to see. I'll just go to pata chal jata ho. Is it not? रैश एंड केयरलेस जिंदगी का रहोगे, हर मोड़ पे हादसा हो जाएगा. You'll have an accident at every turn. My youngsters will drive the life of theirs on highway also so beautifully, on the ghat road also so wonderfully, on the slope also so efficiently, and at every turning also so carefully. Thus, not only they are not undergoing any accident, but every driving they are enjoying the drive of the life. And that's possible when we understand all these things and implement. So that's what yesterday's shloka. Tasmat tvam indriyani adau niyamya. Hey Bharatarshava, papmanam, this most sin prompting, kamana prajahihi, totally eliminate it. Else, jnana, vijnana, nashana. It doesn't allow us to gain the jnanam, that is a jnana nashanam. Vijnana nashanam means it will allow us to use the already existing jnana. What is your jnana vijnanam, which we are talking from chapter 2 onwards? The Vyavasaya, Atmika, Buddhi, and all that, remember? The higher goal chosen, the plan made for it, the resources all gathered, then we are ready to implement the plan with the resources to reach the goal. This is called as Jnana Vijnanam. Sara Satyanash Chaupat ho jayega. Do you want like that? Don't be effectless and efficientless and miserable failure all the time. Life is yours. तो रिमेंबर देखो, तुम तो कोई बंदे को गुरु को पकड़कर उनसे सीखते जाओ तो एक बढ़िया है. लेकिन गीता भी योर गुरु देन इफ यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड टू गो टू एनीवन. This knowledge should be your guru now. Knowledge is the guru, not the person. From the person we have to gain the knowledge. That's how he becomes guru. You say he is my guru and don't learn from anything. Neither he is guru nor you are shishya. But because we can't comprehend or understand the Shastra, we need a guru who knows all that. So therefore, these talks should be guru to you now. Not me. You don't look at me also. We are not important. Your growth is important. For that Geeta and Geeta's knowledge is important. We are only a courier here. We are just supplying it to you. You take it and you cherish it and relish it. Choice is yours. Okay. Now in today's two slokas of 42 and 43, Bhagavan first tells us the hierarchy of what is lower important, higher important, higher important, highest important. Then he says us start living living from the higher and greater standpoints, not the lower one. Then you will be avoiding all the problems of the kamana ityad. So I have my life to live, and I have so many levels of my personality. Oh no, the body is there, senses are there, mind is there, intellect is there. The lower I live the life at, The more are the desires, then more are the chances for forced by the desire to commit the sin and reap the consequence of misery, failure. The more higher and subtler I start living at the level, to that extent, the sins are reduced. Bhagavan tells us the ultimate Krishna. Then we will discuss it. We will not talk that ultimate, though that is the goal. I'm hinting you right now. But at least a step level lower, a notch lower, if you can learn to live, then we can protect ourselves from committing sins because of our life at the lowest level. What is that? If today it's not completely done, tomorrow I'll continue the topic. First, let us see the shlokas, chant them, then see the literal meaning of words, total meaning, and what is the lesson conveyed by the Lord in that for all the spiritual seekers, and what we have to learn for ourselves, step by step. Okay. Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Geetha Sharanam Mama, Shri Vyasa Sharanam Mama, Shri Sadguru Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. 42, 43 slokas. Okay. Hmm. The slokas are like this. Hmm. Hmm. इंद्रियाणि पराणि आहुः इंद्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः. दिस इज 42. 43 एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्य आत्मानं आत्मना जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदम्. This is how the third chapter concludes. Om Tat Saditi. Okay. Now let us do as we do every day. Two shlokas, two times and one time together. Then remaining you practice at home and you become the master. Your work is more than mine. I only give this discussion direction for 30-40 minutes. Repeatedly listening, noting the important point, feeling the importance of it, knowing the understanding of it, getting convinced, trying to practice them is a आपका होता है. If you want to really make your life beautiful for yourself, there's no other option. Why do you keep the option? Yesterday we discussed now. Don't give options. If you give options, you are gone. No option. I'll come to my Geetha class every day. That's it. No option. I'll chant the shloka. No option. I learn the literal meaning. No option. I learn the indicated meaning. No option. I will definitely learn. And the interpretation for my life's growth from that what is taught by Swamiji, that I will learn. In that way, give not option. Okay. Mm. Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः कर्मयोगः. श्रीभगवानुवाच अथ त्रिचत्वारिंशौ श्लोकौ. ॐ इन्द्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः. एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदम् कामरूपं दुरासदम्. अगेन इंद्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः. एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदं कामरूपं दुरासदम् टुगेदर इन्द्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदौ ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे कर्मयोगो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः हरिः ओम. I'll focus more on this shloka tomorrow, but today definitely we are going to see the literal meaning and spiritual meaning and little bit for ourselves. Now, word by word meaning. Bhagavan says, Indriyani parani ahuhu. It is said that the Indriyas are better and greater than the outer objects of the world in their value, in their importance, in their glory, etc. Then Indriyebhya param manaha, more greater, more diviner, more nobler, more valuable, more important, more useful than the Indriya senses is mana. Manasastu parabuddhi, more greater, more valuable, more important, more powerful is the buddhi than the mana. Now, what is beyond buddhi? Yo buddhehe paratahatu saha. That Paramatma is even beyond the buddhi. He is more pervading, he is more blissful, he is more powerful, he is more pristine, therefore more valuable. First hierarchy samjho. More greater important than the perishable dead objects of the world are your own senses. Is it not? Can you enjoy the objects without your senses? But we indulge in the object in so much that our senses are spoiled. Thereafter, they are no more useful. See ना आंख इतना प्रेशस है बट देख देख के टीवी वगैरह आंख खराब कर दी उसके बाद अब देखने को आंख ही नहीं है. So a wise person knows objects are important or senses are. His answer is senses are important. Therefore, for the sake of senses, objects, he will not destroy his senses. He will protect his senses. And how the senses get destroyed? But for the sake of the objects, when you are excessively indulging in them. More sacred than the Indriyas are the man. Is it not? Should not the mind have the beautiful, noble emotions of the love, the kindness, all the excellent things? Or should it be filled with the lust and passions and negativities and destroy us? More sacred, greater than the senses is the mind. And why the mind is so dirty? Because through the senses, you want to indulge in the objects. So understand which is more valuable, more sacred, more precious. More precious than the mana is intellect. Because intellect alone can have the great, grand, glorious goals, ideas, understandings, all of that. Intellect is the one because of which people are becoming greater, nobler, and achievers in the world. But that intellect is destroyed or unused because the mind is filled with passions and lusts and all that. And intellect से ऊपर है परमात्मा. Okay, the Paramatma Anubhuti is the final liberation. It's a bliss, infinite. But one is not pursuing that because at the intellectual is caught up again with the worldly achievements. That's a spiritual thought. For a spiritual person, even the highest noble achievement of the world also is an obstruction, because that is perishable, that is changeable, that limits you, that conditions you. So these are all we talk to the spiritual people. You don't worry about it. But in short, beyond even the Buddhi is the self, the Paramatma. Okay, this is what the hierarchy told. Greater and nobler and important and valuable than the object are senses. Greater, nobler, important, valuable than the senses is mind. More greater, nobler, important, valuable than the mind is Buddhi. Even ultimate than the Buddhi is the Paramatma. This is sequence understood? Hierarchy. Now in the next sloka, Bhagavan says, therefore, aim at that which is beyond the Buddhi called as Paramatma so firmly and strongly that to reach out that everything should be ready to sacrifice. If you are at that conviction level, then your intellectual convictions of desires, your emotional projections of the desires, your attractions of the senses for the world, you are becoming slave to the objects, all of the wholesale you can conquer. This is for spiritual persons, I am telling. So a spiritual person, therefore, first he is shown the ultimate goal of Paramatma. He is made to be convinced about it. And when he is convinced, then when he is told to come out of all the desires at all levels of senses, mind, intellect, he will be able to do it willingly. But if he is not convinced of the goal of Paramatma, then he will only have the desires as the goals at the sense, mind, and intellect level. Then he will live like an ordinary person, not a spiritual seeker. This is for spiritual people. Okay, but for you and me, what is what? Keep spirituality aside for the time being. Come to the next level. What is that? Instead of living for the objects at the senses and mind level, come to live at the intellectual level. That is what the title given to you for today's class. Live at the intellect's level to protect yourself from succumbing to the enemy called as desires. And we have added one more sentence to say this intellect should be well guided. What is the well guidance of the intellect? That's what. Talk to your parents, talk to your counselors, talk to someone whom you have on whom you have faith, and from him understand the purpose of life, value of life, meaning of life, and the great, grand, glorious things you can achieve. In that understanding at the intellectual level, and when you set your goal, living the life at the intellectual level means using the intellect and its power of discrimination and knowing what fetches me higher and greater thing, what destroys me. Then accordingly, when you choose the better thing, that is the meaning of living at the intellectual level, then you will be avoiding the pitfalls, succumbing to the desires at the mind and senses and objects level. So at least live at the buddhi level. बुद्धिजीवी बनो, दिमाग को यूज करते हुए अपने जीवन के उत्तम लक्ष्य बनाकर उसके तरफ बढ़ते रहना. If दिमाग यूज नहीं किया, then our samskaras and our mind with its sympathetic projections and virulent sense organs will become so victims of the desire. Added to that is the outer world of attractions, advertisements, and the people indulging in that, who they are saying, and the friends also are that type who pull you out of your own goals. Then we are victimized by the desire. ज्ञान विज्ञान दोनों का नाश हो गया. Clear? I have not completely told you a shloka. Only the what is said for the spiritual seekers, evam buddhe param buddha, having the goal of that Paramatma which is beyond the buddhi and intensely working toward the goal, then you rise above this detrimental enemy called as desire. For us, if you can set the spiritual goal right now, nothing like that. But at least the intellectually conceived goals of your own professions, goals of your own service, goals of your patriotism, goals of standing for your culture and tradition, if you can have all of them, in that strength of the goal, conceived at the intellectual level, guided by our elders, any desire comes, then you can slowly come out of it. Like that's what I told you 100 times example. The all freedom fighters, their intellectual conviction was to bring freedom to our country. Because of that, They were not slaves to the objects of the world through senses, nor they were emotionally blackmailed by anybody because of attachments. Their intellects were convinced to such an extent, they were ready to sacrifice all relatives, all emotional sympathies, all the senses attractions, also the indulgence in the objects. That's how they fought. That's how they got the freedom for us. If they don't have that inspiring conviction of the goal in the intellect, मैं देश के लिए ये करता हूँ, they would have been like normal anybody, खाओ पियो मरो एक दिन. So to a scientist, he is dedicated to his intellect's conviction of wanting to discover that great thing. Because of that, even though he is also in the same world like you and me, but he is not succumbing to the desires like you and I. Learn from those great noble people who live life at the intellect's level, which is guided well regarding higher and greater, nobler goals. This is the way, and this is the only way. Then this shloka has the other three parts. Evam buddhe param buddha, I explained to you. Samstabhya atmanam atmana jahishatru mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. These three things we touch tomorrow, and then depending on the availability of time, entire theme once more we develop. And you ponder, you'll get answers. If at all you have any doubts, then you can discuss with some known elders. You can come to me, you can discuss and ask any of the doubts, questions you have. We will try our best to give an idea as to how to think, to understand and sort out those doubts. Whatever, as Arjuna asked question, ki this is a kamana because of which we commit sins. Reduce the kamana, means the kamana have higher goals, have higher prema are the good qualities, then we will not do the papa, will not enter into naraka ityadi. All that is in our own hands. This is how the third chapter. Tomorrow we'll try to conclude. Then we take up the fourth chapter. It's called as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogam. In that also the beautiful 42 slokas are there. There also at least 10 12 topics we learn for us as a youth for our success in life. And if you are wanting to be spiritual also, every sloka is precious only. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Now let us chant our mantras today. Indriyani paranyaho indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhihi yo buddhe paratastu saha evam buddhe param buddha samstabhyatmanamatmana jahi shatrum mahabaho कामरूपं दुरासदम् ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे कर्मयोगो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Today's mantra is Om Shri Adiparashakti Matre Namaha, and the common sense thought is don't justify the wrongdoings or mistakes. That's how the class for the day, and I wish you all the best. Love you so much. With only one prayer that your life becomes a great achievement and asset to yourself and to the world around you. Meet tomorrow. Thanks.